Hey, what's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Back with another video. Hope everyone's well. Man, USA versus Russia. You know what? Last time I said I probably wasn't going to do another one of these like statistic-based videos, but Russia's probably the best matchup for like a one-on-one with USA. But again, even though we know where it's going to go, I think it's always fun to break down the statistics. Now, but before we jump into it, if you're interested in the Olympics at all, hang around at the end of the video because I just want to have a little chat with you about the Olympics, man, and get some of your feedback in the comments because I'm enjoying it a lot, and I think it's been a fun Olympics despite the fact that I can't really watch them live because for us the events kind of start at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm not sure when it'd start for you. Your guys like 8 hours behind, so it'd be decent for you. It's like a nighttime thing, isn't it? Like 8 o'clock if you're on the East Coast anyway. I'm not sure about West Coast. Might be even. I don't know. Let me know what time you've got to watch it, but I always watch them on like playback because it's like 2:30 in the morning. But anyway, let's jump straight into this and hang around if you want to talk about the Olympics at the end. USA versus Russia military comparison 2021. I think this is going to be a lot more interesting than the China one, to be honest, because China, just outside of their actual home nation, they just haven't got any ability to deploy troops across the world, and I feel like Russia kinda has that. Especially in Europe, they could put troops in Europe, no problem. I think China would have a fair bit more resistance, but let's get into it. And before we even mention it, Russia actually has military experience, so that's a big one, right? I love that street fighter. So that's interesting right off the bat. So from what I remember, and I'll try not to pause it too much, China has a bigger defense budget then. I swear China was in the 250 billion mark. So still nothing compared to America, but it's interesting that Russia's still second. So does that indicate that things may change in the future? Just looking at it, it's crazy how small Russia's population is. Like, for the amount of land that they have. Like, we, in the UK, we're 70 million. So they've got double what we've got, but how much bigger are they? In terms of leaders, if you could pick the leader and you was going into war, and I don't mean this as an insult to America, but if you was in a war-based scenario, you'd probably pick Vladimir Putin, wouldn't you? And this is just going off what's the word I'm looking for? Hypotheticals. Sorry, I couldn't remember. And that's just not me being a knob to Joe Biden. I don't mean that as an insult. If you measured the competence of the two, you'd probably pick Vladimir Putin, let's be honest. America kind of clears it in terms of personnel. Okay, so I'm trying not to pause, but also there's no point in me reacting if I don't talk. But this is going to be one of them rare situations with the USA, most of the time they've got the quantity and the quality. Right, we all know that. But I think with these ones, USA, if USA and Russia went to war tomorrow, USA would have to rely on their quality in their mechanized units. Like, I know a lot of the Russian stuff is quite old in comparison to the USA stuff, especially having that amount of tanks. Some of them are bound to be outdated. And that's not a dig at Russia either, because, you know, I know they've had loads of new stuff. In fact, it was in the news recently over here about how they're doing a mini military bulk, whatever that means. But that's interesting that Russia has so much more tanks than USA. I guess that's just how they... I wonder is that anything to do with kind of like the geographical location of the countries? Russia borders pretty much the rest of the world, you know what I mean? Where America's separated by sea. You know, to any other major players. Like, there's no real major players in the Americas. Like, Canada's a big country and Mexico's a big country, but they haven't got militaries like America has. Where Russia borders up with China and borders up with, you know, Eastern Europe and then Western Europe, who combined can be quite strong. Well, I just wonder if that plays a role in it. What do you guys think? You'd need to have a lot more mechanized units if you were like land-based like that. Iconic is this though? This is just such an iconic, like, just the American Humvees. Just they're so sexy to look at. I definitely think they're the best armored cars in terms of looks. Because this is where America always starts to run away with it now, isn't it? It's in the sheer power of the aircrafts, and then they get into like the aircraft carriers, and America starts to run away with it then. If you're having a land-based battle and aircrafts weren't a factor, it would be a pretty good fight. I know I'm going on like one war happens in just one big giant fight. I don't mean that, but I mean like if you lined up all the mechanized units and that, and it would actually be closer than what it would be if, you know, the Navy and the Air Force weren't involved. But I think that's where America have just prioritised a lot of their spending, obviously, as you would as a modern nation. But it was pretty interesting up until we got here, and now it's like America just has like 1,000 more of everything. China didn't have any stealth bombers either. I'm just starting to wonder which countries actually have stealth bombers. Is it just America? Surely we've got to have one here knocking around somewhere. Surely there's got to be one somewhere. ask you a question, and please don't get pissed off with me, because it's a genuine question, and it's gonna sound like an insult, but it's really, really not. So you see all this stuff, and I know America kind of plays the role of the police in the world, and they do police the globe, and to a certain extent. But in your heart of hearts, how much is all this necessary? And I don't mean electronic warfare. I don't mean that. I just mean like just the sheer amount of everything that America has. Like, how much is it worth it? Do you actually? Is there any of you that really love the military stuff and you love learning about it and you love all the stuff, but in your heart you think, is it necessary? I don't know. Or is it like, no, I truly believe we need this because if Russia and China done this and this kicked off, then we could do this. But in your heart of hearts, do you ever think like we've just gone so overkill with this? Because I know a lot of America's economy depend on like the military-industrial complex and how it all works. But what are your guys' opinions on it as humble Americans? What do you really think? Like, do we need this, or do you think no, we actually do need this? It'd be interesting just to get your thoughts, and that's not an insult to you before you start to think it is. Russia has won. Russia has won. Surely not. I think we've got 2. I remember. I don't know whatever happened, but do you remember when the whole the Crimea stuff happened back in 2012? I remember hearing then that Russia had contracted France to make them 2 aircraft carriers, but then all that kicked off. So France withheld the aircraft carriers until violences cease in that part of the world. And I don't think they ever come to terms with it. So I think France kept the 2 that they made for Russia. So I'm just thinking, I can't believe that Russia has won. Because that's kind of, we discussed it last video. This is probably the most important factor in modern day warfare, isn't it? How many aircraft do you have? Because that is automatically your ability to deploy troops abroad. Or I'm just shocked that Russia has won. If there's any Russians in the comments, let me know. Where do you even get this information from? Like on how much stuff people have? Is it like what you just go to the government website and it's under military, tanks, bracket 64? Like, I don't even know how you'd find this out, to be honest. I was just thinking, when I asked you how much of this is worth it, one of the main reasons I asked that is because I thought if Russia and America did ever go to war, they couldn't go to war. Do you know what I mean? Just in my head, they just couldn't. Because the first thing we'd do is like, well, if you kill any of our troops, I'll just launch a nuke. Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't know how that would work. Say tomorrow Russia shot down an American aircraft intentionally. What would America's response be? Surely it's not, right, we're at war, and we're gonna use all this stuff we've got. Surely we're just gonna fucking nuke you then. I don't know how it works. I don't know if that sounds stupid, but it's one of them where it's hard to put together a theoretical scenario like that. But it would be interesting to see how it played out if there was like some simulator where you could actually watch it happen. That was made by Switzerland though, so it was completely neutral. Because you know, if America made it, they'd be like, "Yeah, basically we won, and no one needs to see." But speaking of America, man, what your swimmer? I've been watching the swimming so much. What's his name? Kalen Dressel. Kalen Dressel. Caleb Dressel. He's a monster. He is a monster. Like what did he won the 400 meters and the 200 meters, didn't he? And then in the mixed medley, like he was frightening to watch in the mixed medley. Like I think we had a woman go last. I know we won the medley, but we had a woman go last. And when Caleb Dressel come in, honestly, the man is like a shark in that water. Like he made up so much ground in the space of a few seconds. And like there's a woman at the front just dying, and you got this big fucking massive geezer behind her, and he's absolutely steaming it, man. But oh man, he's so good. Like I love our dude as well, Adam Peaty, the breaststroke guy. I think he's amazing. But obviously you'd never get the proper race out of them because they both kind of specialise in different stuff. But oh man, the swimming, like the Australians, the Americans, us British, and the Chinese. Honestly, every event was so good to watch, man. I felt like them four nations, I felt like they just smashed it. But listen to this. So I didn't realise, and again, this is not a dig at America. I didn't realise you guys record the Olympics different to how everyone else does. So I didn't know this, and if you don't know what I'm on about, so what I mean is, in our Olympic rankings, China's first, America's second, Japan's third, Russia's fourth, Australia's fifth, and we're sixth. So that's just how it is internationally, except for America. America's top in your one because you guys do who's got the most medals. So when I last checked, I think it was yesterday, you guys had 52 medals, but China had 50, but China had more golds. So internationally ranked, China were first. But you guys record it different, and I just wanted to know how do you guys watch the Olympics? So like, is it only focused on American athletes? Like, is it Americanized like that? Because with us, like, if our people are in it, then great. But you sit and watch every single athlete from every country across every sport. Like I'm a big fan of the weightlifting, and GB didn't even put forward anyone in that. But I've kind of got like a man crush on Liu Xiaozhen, the Chinese weightlifter. I think he's amazing. But I just want to know how you guys watch the Olympics, man, because I've got some American friends and they said, yeah, it's very Americanized over here. Like you don't really see much of the other countries, but I don't know how true that is because I can't imagine it being that true. But if there's any people from other countries watching the video or in the comments, let me know how your country's doing. Honestly, like this Olympics has probably been my favourite. Like as much as I love the London one because it was here, I wasn't really into it as much as I am now. Like I didn't appreciate all the sports. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you just give a shit about the 100-metre sprint, don't you? It's like, Usain Bolt. But this year, man, I've loved them all. Except for the horse dancing one. I still can't get into that. What's equestrial? I still can't get into that. And I didn't even bother watching the shooting because it's not even fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, America's obviously going to win that. The Australians have smashed it though, man. The Australians and the Japanese have done so well. Like America and China always do well, and Russia. I think it's kind of like population versus funding. And if you got a high population and loads of funding, then you're just going to do well. We always seem to do well considering we're a small country. I think this year, in terms of swimming, it's been our best Olympics. But yeah, I know we're a small nation, but we're always up there in and around, like between seventh, 6th, 5th. I think in the London ones we come 5th. Maybe 4th. I think it's 4th actually. I think it was China, America, Russia, Britain, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, that's good for us, man. We're only a small nation. Let us know. Yeah, I just wanted a friendly chat and let you know how I felt about the Olympics. I want to see how you guys feel. And if you want to do any more of these, definitely let me know. Like Saudi Arabia versus Turkey. In fact, let's have a quick look what other ones are on here. I think I said last video, as cool as these videos are, it is kind of like, I don't want to insult you, it's kind of boring when America, not boring, it's kind of like, how close would it be? But you already know the winner. Do you know what I mean? So if it was someone else, you'd actually be like, I don't know who would win that. Like Germany, Poland, be a good one. Quad versus Russia, who's that? Australia, America. Is that India and Japan versus Russia and China? Oh, well, America would win. But yeah, let me know if you want to watch any of these because I enjoy them, man. I actually enjoyed them more than I thought I did, if I was honest. Where's all the British? And we got no British ones in here. Oh yeah, Britain versus China. Oh well, that's a bit dumb, isn't it? Britain versus Germany. That'd be a good one. But yeah, let me know. I know I'm just talking shit, man, but I just enjoy talking shit, if I'm honest. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. It's good talking to you. Definitely let me know how you feel about the Olympics. Let me know if there's any athletes from your country I should look out for in an upcoming event, because I know we're just over halfway through now. Yeah, so definitely let me know, man. Peace out. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and take it easy, guys. Peace.